Joining me now is someone who has some thoughts on the future of the GOP and perhaps might have an I told you so moment here. It's former Texas Republican Congressman Will Hurd. Congressman, it is good to see you. Let me just start with this. What did you see in the midterms, and what did you expect to see with the midterms?
Well, first off, what did I see? You've already said it. Every vote counts. I hope America and all of your listeners are recognizing that. And by the way, ticket splitting actually happens. I think one of the things that's fascinating for me is when you look at a place like Ohio, Governor DeWine won by 23 points. And the Senate candidate J.D. Vance only won by, I think it's at about 7 now. Had Governor DeWine not had that lead, you wouldn't have seen that happen. And I think the fact that we're 3 days after the elections and we're starting to have conversations about are Republicans going to actually take the House back is pretty shocking. And at the same time, the far right within the Republican conference is trying to hold up the presumptive speaker if Republicans do take back the House. It's just wild to me, and they need to learn new tactics. And we need to start talking about how do we govern, how do we solve problems, and not just throw bombs. You know,
Congressman, it's not hard to see the pattern here. The closer you were to Donald Trump, the worse you did in this election. The further you were away, if you were a Republican, I mean, I look at Brian Kemp as the model, right? He slayed the Trump dragon, and he's the highest vote getter in the state of Georgia. Do more Republicans, do you think they'll see that, or do you think the fact that Trump does have this influence in a primary, although Kemp showed it's harder against incumbents, maybe incumbents have extra advantages there, that fear of the Trump wing in a primary is still going to scare off some Republicans from taking on Trump here?
Well, I think people are starting to realize the Trump burden is real. This is a thing. It's hurt people. It's pretty obvious in this race. Look, there's the race in Washington State. My friend Jamie Herrera Butler had held that seat for 10 years.
It's a Republican seat, Will.
It's a Republican seat.
Yeah, this is a Romney, Trump. I mean, every Republican presidential candidate carries it.
Absolutely, and the fact that it may lose, and I don't know if the seat has been called yet. So this is the example of how this Trump burden is real, and the reality. And look, we have to get through. Let's say, based on y'all's projections, that Republicans have 220 in the House. And you have people in the Freedom Caucus saying that they're not going to support Kevin McCarthy. What happens if Democrats come around and have 216 votes and they try to get some Republican to jump ship and support someone? We have to remember, you do not have to be a member of the House of Representatives to be Speaker of the House of Representatives. Now, that's implausible, but I know that there are Dems that are thinking about this, depending on whether Kevin is able to get his ducks in a row. But the bottom line is this. I think when we're going to see the final votes tallied, we might get close to 2018 numbers and turnout. Right. But guess what? It's still less than 50% of the population. That means 50% of the population didn't care what happened on Tuesday. They're not following what's happening now like it's sports. And we need to make sure that we have leaders that are trying to inspire the entire country, not just fear-mongering to a small percentage of the Republican primary base. Right. That's the opportunity. And if we realize that, we can see growth down the line.
You know, your former colleague, Carlos Curbelo, made this point to me the other night. He said, you know, when John Boehner got forced out, there were 245 House Republicans. Mm-hmm. So he didn't have the votes to remain a speaker when there were 245. So I buy this idea that McCarthy may not have the votes, but who would?
Look, it's a good question. You have to go through this process to figure it out. I think Jim Jordan is looking and trying to see, can he tabulate the votes? I think a lot of people don't want the position because they recognize how difficult it would be to govern in such a small minority. And look, the president made it very clear. He thinks that the solution here is that the American people said, hey, we need to work together and solve problems. But we got got some big issues coming up. We still got to fund the government. That runs out by December 16th. You have an issue of a debt ceiling, and that's going to happen, no later than Q2 of next year. We still have a crisis at the border. We're dealing with our adversaries like the Chinese government. We're dealing with cyber terrorism and cyber crime. There was a major hack announced earlier today or yesterday afternoon. So we have a lot of serious problems that we have to deal with, and that's what the American public wants us to do. And now it's time for serious people to step up and say, hey, let's solve problems and stop resorting to tactics that actually give the other side. Like the problem with the Freedom Caucus and some of the far right, their tactics are actually giving power to the people they're saying that they're trying to stop. Look,
Donald Trump's forcing this issue. What's in the best interest of the party would be Donald Trump to postpone this, but we know that that's just not how he rolls. We can all wish cast all we want. He's not going to do it. So do you just hope it peters out? Do you hope that maybe that he can't fill an arena and as he gets audience levels of 2,000 and 3,000, that sends the message? Because the voters have been, his grassroots following is what has kept the establishment from totally throwing him overboard. Is that what's going to have to be shown before the leadership truly throws him overboard?
Look, the campaigns and elections are simple. ID your voters, turn them out. And prior to Tuesday's election, the president probably had about 30% of the Republican Party kind of hardcore that were willing to vote for him. Does that change? When you have a candidate that comes along and is talking about solving the problems of the future, but also dealing with the issues that we have in front of us right now, like inflation and crime and the border, when there's someone that talks that way and is willing to try to grow the party, look, we got to make sure the Republican Party looks like America. We got to make sure that all of America is looking for the Republican Party. When we do that, we can be successful. But if we're losing the young vote by losing it by about 70% to the Democrats, we're never going to be successful. So yes, it's going to require, Donald Trump's not going to go away quietly, and it's going to require someone that's willing to stand up and try to encourage others to come out to vote.
Yep. At the end of the day, if you want to get rid of him, you're going to have to beat him. Former Congressman Will Hurd from Texas. Always good to get your perspective. Good to see you. Thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.